This is Film Trigger.
Derpy Gaming says, hello, friends. I'm here for quality content. Well, you came to the wrong channel. There we go.
That's very good.
Except for the fact that it's George Clooney's Batman.
So by that logic, George Clooney is the best live-action Batman we have ever got.
If Justice League 2 isn't announced in 2022, I will shave my hair bald live on air.
Streaming from Studio 47, Film Trigger's Drive-By News begins now.
What up?
Well,
it's our original theme music. By original, I mean somebody else wrote it and we haven't paid them for it yet. So hopefully YouTube doesn't take us down. It was part of the whole free stuff that I got with one of my apps. So, all right. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Drive-By News. We are back after a little vacation, little staycay, if you will. And I am with you. Hello, everybody. Good to see your beautiful faces again. I got a new shirt. Time for a mega pint. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. And Seth, you're here with us as well.
I am.
You, kind sir?
Doing good.
That's good.
Doing real good.
A man of little words. Okay. Good. All right. Well, you know what we normally do here, Seth, is about this time we will take the time to put on some background theme music, huh? Some good stuff. Not that this isn't good, but this is a good intro.
Yeah.
But we want to do some relaxing. What do we usually do here? Is it into space, daydreaming? I don't know.
I think it is that one. That's loud, though.
There, how's that?
Down a little bit more, I think.
Okay, we got it right there. I can't hear it now, so.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect, though. I can hear it. It's perfect.
Okay, then I need to turn you up. All right, there we go. Okay, well, we are back. I took a little vacation for 2 weeks there, and much needed mental health vacation because sometimes this stuff can get a little overbearing. So it's okay to take time off. Just remember that. Do things for you. You don't owe anybody anything. Shoes on your feet, you bought them. You do you, girl, or man, or whoever the fuck. Oh man, I'm sorry. It's gonna take me a moment to get back into the swing of it here. It's funny though. I decided to take this 2 weeks off, and like the most movie stuff happened. There were so many times I just wanted to get on here and just say, "Okay, let's talk about it," but I forced myself not to get in front of this camera for a little bit. There was so much stuff, and we'll kind of dabble in some of the things that happened, but the other things, maybe if you guys ask questions about and stuff. Aaron White, welcome back indeed, sir. Thank you, Mr. Aaron. And Mr. Aaron White, since you are here with us, I number one just want to let you know that I appreciate you. If anybody doesn't know, Aaron is a quote unquote editor for Film Trigger because he sends me stuff. And the stuff he sends me, he likes to remind me every now and again of what's going on in the world and remembering the past, the present, and maybe think about our future. And how does he do that? By reminding me of what movies were released on these days. Prime example, released on this day, June 14th, 2013, Man of Steel made its presence into the world. Its presence that has created a very interesting rift. Some people love this movie. A lot of people love this movie, and I feel like a lot of people are coming around to loving this movie. But I feel like when it first came out, everyone got so weird about it not being the Superman that they know and love, even though they gave them a Superman they know and love in the previous film, and everyone said that was stupid too. So people are dumb. But anyway, so today's Man of Steel release day. It's also, as soon as I can figure out how to work this thing, it's also the Cable Guy release day. Different year, 1996, but Cable Guy, another one of my favorites, came out. And God, 1996, man, that movie's nearing 30 years old here in just a couple more.
Wow.
Yeah.
But-
Dude, another one that audiences didn't really particularly take well to, but they ended up loving it in the end because it was marketed wrong. It was marketed. They try to market it like a family, fun, friendly, woohoo, Jim Carrey, funny guy, and then they show up and it's actually a really dark comedy, and it kind of freaked people out, kind of like Gremlins, right, Aaron? Aaron apparently had his grandma take him to see Gremlins, and they thought it was going to be the same thing, a family, fun, friendly thing. And now Aaron still considers that movie one of the scariest movies he's ever seen in theaters. So good for him. Aaron, oh no, not Gremlins. E.T. You're right. E.T. Sorry, I got my weird, squishy, short creatures mixed up. Thank you. All right, E.T. He says, not Gremlins, but Gremlins would have been just as fun. You could use that with Gremlins as well. It'll still be a fun story. Yeah. All right, Seth, are you ready to talk about some news and junk?
I am ready to talk about some news and junk.
All right. Well, I think you've got the first thing we want to talk about. Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead.
So, I've mentioned it a few times, but one of my favorite movies is Knives Out. I think it's a very clever movie. And the part that disappoints me the most about that movie doesn't even really have to do with the movie. It's the fans who refuse to watch it because they don't like The Last Jedi. Those are the people I don't like.
Those are also called Star Wars fans, Seth.
Those are called Star Wars fans. They're very obnoxious sometimes. But Knives Out 2, or Knives Out, is getting a sequel, and it has finally been given a title. It's called Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, is the official title of the movie.
Okay. That's an ugly name.
It isn't a great one.
Well, but you know what? It sounds like an ugly name, but I bet there's going to be something in that movie that that person got killed with the glass onion, I don't know.
Glass onion means something though. And it's the reason I don't despise the title. Do you know what glass onion means?
No, I don't know. I know, like, if we're speaking like in the ways of like an onion peels and layers or something, I don't know. Then other than that,
you're close. It means something is being peeled back layer by layer, only to realize that it was transparent the whole time. Oh. And the way I compare that in my head is almost like, let's say you're in a rush to leave or something and you're looking for your keys, turn your whole house upside down looking for your keys, and then they're in your pocket. Like that kind of thing.
It was right under our noses the whole time.
Yep.
Great.
That's what glass onion means.
Well, then, okay, that is kind of gave away we'll know who the killer is, like in the first 5 minutes of the movie then.
Just like the first one. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm excited for it though, and they did confirm that it is coming out this year, which I think was a pretty easy guess, but now it is official. So
is Craig still involved with this?
Daniel Craig? Yes.
Yeah,
he is the only person coming back. So
it makes sense that no one else would. So
yeah, I like the direction they're taking with it, because I remember when they first announced Knives Out 2 and everybody was like, but the story's over, everything concluded at the end. But then they came on, they were like, no, Benoit Blanc though, he's sticking around, he's gonna get multiple movies, and we already know, this is already confirmed, they're also doing Knives Out 3.
Well, yeah, so Netflix bought it for what, $4 billion?
That's something? 400 million.
Oh, 400 million.
400 million.
Hey, once you get past 6 zeros, it's all the same to me. But $400 million for 2 movies is what. That's what a weird thing for. Plus, then they had on top of that.
You know what? No. I think that goes into everything. You know what's weird though? They spent more money to buy those movies than the movie made at the box office. The movie made $311 million at the box office, and they spent $400 million on the franchise.
Jeez, why is Netflix in the billions of dollars of debt?
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Yeah, Knives Out 2, Glass Onion. It's one of those movies that are quirky enough to get away with a title like this, though.
Yeah,
You know, there is a tiny bit, just the right amount of satire put into that movie that this works. You know, it's not like, you know, it's not like Nightmare on Elm Street, the Glass Onion. Like, what the fuck does that mean? You know, but
I mean, yeah, I mean, you just got to take one look at the franchise. The main character's name is Benoit Blanc. Like, that's Daniel Craig's character's name is Benoit Blanc. That's a weird name. You know, it's a little.
So is Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Yeah, he starred in Friends. I think his name is Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah,
Joey?
but Matt's a pretty normal name. And I'm not saying there's no one named Benoit. I'm just saying I've never met anyone named.
Oh,
Benoit.
wait, is Benoit one word?
Benoit. Yes.
Oh, I thought it was Benoit.
No.
LeBlanc.
Benoit is his first name.
Oh, I've never heard of that before.
Blanc is his last name. That is his name.
Oh, okay. See, I was thinking Benoit Blanc. That's what I was hearing, like LeBlanc. Okay.
Hold on. Can I bring this up real quick to show you how it's spelled? Just for fun. Benoit Blanc. That is how that is spelled.
Huh. Okay. Well, his last name sounds like a sound effect. Blanc. Anyway.
Blanc. But yeah.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Knives Out 2, titled Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Is it a Knives Out mystery?
Nope. It's not.
Knives Out was like more specific to the last mystery because the guy wrote the book Knives Out. That's what it was, right?
It was more specific to that. And I saw somebody say that it should have been called a Benoit Blanc mystery instead of a Knives Out mystery.
And that would have made sense.
I kind of agree with that, honestly.
I mean, honestly, you could still put Knives Out a Benoit Blanc mystery, you know, like then throw Glass Onion in there if you really fucking wanted to.
I'm very curious to see how this movie turns out, though, because it's like the first one had a very specific style. Like, Benoit Blanc was not the main character of that movie. It was Marta. She was like the lead of the movie, you know. Of course, Benoit Blanc was the detective, you know. He's kind of the focal point, but Marta was the main character. And now, obviously, Benoit Blanc is the only character coming over to the sequels. Right. Are they going to do the same thing? Are we going to get a new main character and have kind of Benoit Blanc kind of be there, like be their sidekick almost? Or is Benoit Blanc moving over to like the main character spot?
That's a really good question, and it almost, I could see this almost like, listen, I don't make movies, so like I have no real business telling people how to make movies, but one idea I probably would have put on the table here is what about like doing the Jay and Silent Bob thing? Like, each movie has its own title. It doesn't, except for Jay and Silent Bob, you know, Strike Back or whatever.
Yeah, like
it's Dogma, Mallrats, and then you have these two continuous characters in each movie, you know, weaving the movies together. Maybe this could have just been called Glass Onion, but man, when you spend $400 million on the Knives Out name, I guess you buy the brand.
You got to make sure you use the name Knives Out.
Right. Yeah. So that's one way of looking at it. Okay, but you're still excited for this? Do you think Netflix is going to shit the bed on this one, or?
I mean, I'll say this: if Netflix does, it's not Netflix's fault, because when the article came out that they were buying Netflix, it talked about all the contract stuff. They are not legally allowed to interfere with these movies. So if
when Netflix was buying the property,
when Netflix was buying the Knives Out and stuff like that, they're not allowed to interfere with these movies. So if they are bad, it's going to be Rian Johnson's fault.
So Netflix cannot interfere with the movie. Okay, I see.
They're just releasing the movie. That's it. Okay. Netflix is not making this movie. They're just releasing it.
And if I remember correctly, this is being released in the theaters.
I believe so, yeah.
And this will be like the first legit Netflix release to theater thing, right?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like it'll be. So
I wonder if that was their plan the whole time, why they spent that much money. Like, hey, listen, we're going to take this property and we've dipped our toes doing theatrical releases before. They kind of done that with a few of their movies. You know, they have it both on their streaming and like a small run in theaters. But this is looking like it's going to have a full theatrical run. and
And
not
then
be
then it'll hit Netflix
Right.
after their theatrical run is what it's looking like.
See, that's smart because they're changing up what they're doing. Like they're trying to bring in a new revenue. Like, hey, listen, we've been this major movie company, but we've been like avoiding the thing that makes movies the most money. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't just buy and resell properties anymore. We're doing a lot of original content as well. So and that's what put them in the hole, is buying that is
Right.
is their original content. They wanted to put out so much of it. And when it comes to the main scheme of everything, like their entire new I guess what they want to do moving forward, it's really make less crappy movies and make better, not as many high quality movies, right?
Yeah.
What would took so long on that one, Netflix?
But
how,
I mean,
how did they not see this coming? How did Netflix not see?
I don't know. I
their
don't
debt
I don't
coming?
understand Netflix, but whatever. I mean, anyway, I'm very excited for Knives Out too. I trust Rian Johnson. I like Rian Johnson. I know we've
Yeah.
talked about it before. Say what you want about The Last Jedi. Me personally, I don't hate it. I don't love it, but it's just okay. I think he did a good job with that movie, and specifically Knives Out. And I'm excited to see what he does. I'm hoping that we get more than 3. I mean, I know that's a little ambitious, but like I think this franchise is one that could go on for a very long time.
Wouldn't it be ironic that they have Daniel Craig in this series and then they give it the James Bond treatment? Like after 3 movies, they bring in another person to play that same exact character.
See that I don't even hate that idea. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
well, that's good. Thank you for not lying to me, son.
But yeah, that's about it for this movie.
All right, cool. What else we got?
So the next thing we're going to talk about is No Way Home. It's coming back to theaters in September. It's going to have an extended cut.
Ooh, yeah, because they can't bring us back to the theater where we can get it free on Disney or wherever streaming.
Sony doesn't have a streaming service, unfortunately.
Wherever it's going to be streaming. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. Not for free, but Okay.
Yeah, I mean, cool. That's about all the information we have with it. I mean, we have a title, which is a very strange title. It's called Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version. It's the title.
Oh, wow. Way to give a middle finger to your last movie, huh? It's like, oh, Spider-Man No Way Home. But here's the fun one. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It's an extended cut.
It's weird that they felt the need to do that. I mean, just the more I guess they probably wanted to advertise that, whatever they were going to add wasn't just going to be more dramatic. So it was going to make it more fun, like, oh man, Aunt May died, but this time it was fun. So
I mean, it's
alert. Sorry.
I mean, we don't know what the deleted scenes are going to be. We don't know how much longer it's going to be. So that's why there's not really much to talk about here. People are assuming what we're going to get is the deleted scenes that had leaked at one point. Not online, like that you weren't able to watch them, but there were like run times for deleted scenes at one point that leaked online. And everybody assumed they were going to be part of the Blu-ray, and they ended up not being part of the Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, there's one that's like a 2-minute scene with Matt Murdock. I think that one scene where the 3 Spider-Men are kind of just hanging out, before the final battle, just talking. I think that scene goes on for like another almost 4 minutes or something like that. That was in there.
Do we not know how much time is being added to the film?
We don't know yet. I'm going to assume though that it'll be. I'm gonna take a guess. Say at least 15 minutes, because
is 15 minutes worth going back to the theater for?
I don't know. But I mean, it's. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's longer. I would hope they would.
Well, I don't see why, and it's an extended cut. It's not. We didn't shorten it up. They didn't pull a Deadpool and edit out all the questionable content. And
I didn't mean longer than the movie. I hope it's longer than 15 minutes.
Okay. I thought you said it's obviously going to be longer. It's called the extended cut.
And they're marketing it as an actual extended cut. So hopefully it's not like what Endgame did, when they were like, "Oh, extended Endgame cut, an extra
Oh, and-
6 minutes," and
Yeah,
it was
extra
just like
6
an
minutes.
unfinished CGI scene at the end of the movie. I don't think it'll be that. I think that this is going to be an actual extended cut. So, I mean, I'm all right with that. I would hope that it's like BVS, like 30 extra minutes, but I doubt we're gonna see that. But that would be cool, I think.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Spider-Man No Way Home, also being called Spider-Man, the version we were going to release before things leaked online, so we cut it out of the movie, but now we're re-releasing it back to you, so haha, joke's on you. It's a really long title that they have, but yeah.
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool. All right, well, there you go. If anybody's watching, if you want to let us know what your thoughts are on the Spider-Man extended cut, are you excited to see that? Do you think they should just put out in the Blu-ray and we're all kind of getting trolled here? If that's the case, please let us know in the comments below. Or you can also, if you'd like, give us a call at 740-527-3447, only if we're live. Because I don't answer when we're not live. I just get weird messages on my thing of people asking my answering machine questions. You know about when the Evil Dead is going to release? Like, what part of the message that says, hey, if you've reached us, then we're no longer live? Like, it says that on there. So,
wow.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Neither here nor there. I appreciate anybody who calls, but if you happen to call while we're not live, I won't answer. So, and like literally, the phone doesn't ring. It's only on the computer. All right. So there you have it. There's Knives Out 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home. Thank you, Seth, for bringing those up. Those were kind of like last minute things that Seth brought on to the game. So I appreciate that. Now we're going to move on to a couple other things that we're going to talk about before we dive into the Joker and some Ezra Miller bullcrap. Number one, this is something I found. I don't see too many people talking about it, but it's something that I found very interesting, and that's Indiana Jones 5 possibly de-aging Harrison Ford. Now, that seems like that's commonplace now, right? Like, a lot of movies just do that. I mean, like, I think one of the most ridiculous de-aging moments was when Robert Downey Jr. was de-aged in, what was that, Civil War?
Yeah.
And, like, listen, the guy was aging pretty well. Like, I get what they were doing, but it just seemed like that was very frivolous. Like, hey, look what we can do. Here's young, here's young Tony Stark. But then they did add that as like a part of a story for a future movie, so they didn't let it lie. But anyway, and also to me, one of the best examples of de-aging is Ant-Man. What's his name? Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. Yeah,
Michael Douglas.
That was really good.
That was really good, mostly because I've grown up with Michael Douglas, and like, I mean, like, oh, I know that face. I know his face.
You know what else was kind of impressive, and nobody ever talks about it, and I think that's why it's kind of impressive. Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina in No Way Home were both de-aged. Specifically, Alfred Molina was de-aged in that movie.
Yeah, he was. I could tell though a little bit. I didn't know about
doesn't
William
look
Dafoe.
amazing, but
I didn't know about William Dafoe because he's always looked old. So
he's kind of always looked old. I don't know if it was necessary to de-age him, but they did. So
yeah, I mean he was in Aquaman and he looked almost exactly the same. So anyway, so why am I bringing this up? Why is Indiana Jones 5 possibly de-aging Harrison Ford? Why is this in the news? Well, because it's specifically what Steven Spielberg didn't want to do. As a matter of fact, Steven Spielberg, who famously co-created and directed all the Indiana Jones movies, co-created with George Lucas, he handed over this franchise and he says, listen, I just want to see what somebody else will do with it. But he also said this. Let me bring up my card here. He says, I would never do any indie retread where I took Indiana's face the way it exists in 2011. That's when this quote was, and youngify him. I would never do that. And that's exactly what this director is doing. I forget Mangold. Is that who's doing it?
James Mangold. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So it's kind of like people are like, what are you doing, Mangold? Steven Spielberg, it goes against his wishes of, what he didn't want to do for Indiana Jones. Number one, Seth, I do have a question here. Do you think it matters? Do you think this is a big deal at all? Or do you think people are just blowing things out of proportion because Steven Spielberg's gold and everything he says is perfect?
No, I don't think it matters. I'll be honest. We know he's being de-aged. We've seen the set photos, and like, I think, I mean, he handed over the franchise
Right.
for
That's the
somebody to
ticket.
do what they want to do.
That's the ticket. Yeah, that's the whole point. He handed over the franchise. What? Wait. Okay. Well, here you go. Do what you.
Yeah.
I want to see what somebody else can do with that. Well, Steven Spielberg, to be fair, is not the one who's come out going, "Hey, you know what? I said I would never do that." But this number two, this is like also in 2011 when that first quote came out, and that was 11 years ago.
Yeah, that's an
when Harrison
11-year-old quote.
when Harrison Ford was still like old as dirt. Then, no offense to anybody that's old as dirt, but. And he also used youngify him because de-aging wasn't a term yet. I don't see anything here worth, getting in a tiff over, but it seems like there were some comments I saw on Twitter. People were like saying it was disrespecting the original, the original concept of the original whatever Steven Spielberg wanted for the movies. But I think people are just in Twitter. They just love to hear themselves talk. So
I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, it's not like they're going completely against something in the franchise or anything. It's a small thing. I'm sure. Obviously, we don't know, but I feel like it's only going to be for a flashback or two. Like,
you think so?
I think so. Yeah.
You think they're going to keep him regular aged Harrison Ford for the most of it, and then have a couple flashbacks? I thought that too.
I do. Knowing James Mangold, especially with what he did with Logan, I think he's going to really want to show his age. You know, like he's going to want to show how old Indiana Jones is.
Yeah. I mean, what about Logan? He aged. He aged Hugh Jackman.
He aged Hugh Jackman. If you see a picture of Hugh Jackman now, he looks 10 years younger than he did in Logan. Like,
he looked so grit in Logan.
He did. That's a good movie.
It is good. I watched it the other night.
I did too. Yeah, no, I'll be honest. I've never seen Indiana Jones. But
we gotta fix that because Seth, they are wonderful movies. They're right up there with Star Wars and like in the sense of like think of every like space movie that comes out, you think of Star Wars automatically, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's how like globe-trotting adventures are. It all started with Indiana Jones.
I've seen the third one, but that's it. That's the third one.
That's a good one.
You made me watch it. Yeah, because I remember I was at your house and you were like, "Do you want to watch Indiana Jones?" You were like, "Third one's the best." I was like, "Yeah, but I've never seen any of them, so we should start with the first one." You were like, "Yeah, no, let's watch the third one." So we watched the third one.
Well, because but let's not dive down too far into this. But first of all, like, I know probably at the time that we were watching, how long ago was this?
A year, maybe.
Really, that short? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like you've always had this habit of you're growing out of it, but you used to have this habit where you would, if a movie wasn't fun and exciting, like through most of it, you wouldn't get wrapped up in the story. I'm not
10 anymore.
I know, but like in here, in dad continuity and your mom's continuity, you are. So like we still act like that sometimes. We're learning too, son. And so like that was just my way of like, well, let me show you the one that is the most exciting, at least according to my opinion, and you don't really need to watch the previous ones to know what's going on. It's pretty cut and dry.
I liked it. I'll say that.
It's a good movie. And you know what, to be honest, this is a little bit of me, but I as much as I do like the first movie, I would prefer 2 and 3 over the first one.
2 and 3.
Which people are just up in arms about when I say that, because they're like, what the hell are you talking about? But the second movie is more nostalgic because I grew up watching that movie on a loop when I was a kid. That was like, I used to walk around and ask your grandmother and your grandfather to call me Dr. Jones. I was like, call me Dr. Jones. Like, I was obsessed with that movie. There's a reason why I have a fedora and whip hanging. You can't see it because it's off camera, but there's a reason why I have this stuff here. I love Indiana Jones. I wanted a new whip every year for my birthday so I could be like Indiana Jones, and that was because of Temple of Doom. So that's why that movie's creeps up higher than the first one in my mind.
That's fair. I like that. I like that story actually. You know what I was saying though is, I'm still excited for this, even though I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie other than the third one. And I'm really curious to see what James Mangold is going to do, because I mean, it
Especially after
depends,
Logan.
especially after Logan.
Yeah.
Is Disney going to let him go a little darker with it? Does he want to go a little darker with it? I would assume, but I don't know. And I don't
know if darker would be the right word. I feel like he would
more mature story.
I would say yes. Heavier is where I would head
Heavier.
to. A little bit heavier.
Yeah, heavier story. Are they going to let him do that if he wants to? Will Indiana Jones die?
I mean,
probably.
That's one good way to make sure they don't try to bring Harrison Ford back for
I'm pretty sure that Harrison Ford would want that. So, I mean, maybe Indiana Jones will die. I don't know. I don't really have much room to talk about it because, I haven't seen the franchise, but I'm still excited for it. I just want a title for the movie. That's all I want. They're hiding the title for some reason. I don't know why.
What I wonder what possible titles there could be, like Indiana Jones 5 and
let's call it Indy.
And Indiana Jones 5, and the fact that I'm going to ignore that I have a kid in this movie because he learned he had a kid in the fourth movie.
In the fourth one, yeah, they don't want Shia LaBeouf back.
What a missed opportunity! That kid was such a good actor. Is such a good actor. He's an amazing actor. He's just a little kooky. So
a little.
Hey man, Hollywood does weird shit to people. Okay. But I'll tell you what, listen, don't ever give up on somebody. Hollywood makes people act mad. And yeah, he's made some decisions, but he's also made some really good movies on his own. I think, and I know we're going out down another rabbit hole here, but Shia LaBeouf, actually, within the past few years, did a movie about himself where he played his father. And like, I haven't seen it, but I've heard really good things about it. And like, people are like, you know what? This is the Shia this is the guy we want. And I think he's maybe coming out of it, but yeah, he's a little weird, cutting his face for that one movie, and he kept cutting it every day to make sure it was fresh. I mean,
he was making his way, like, I mean, obviously he had been part of Hollywood for a very long time, but he was starting to really kind of have a resurgence. Is that the word, right word? He's really starting to show himself and prove himself. People are like, hey, I really like this guy. And then all the stuff came out about him, and everybody was like, never mind. I don't like this guy anymore. He's weird. Well, he's a psycho. Like, he's just a weird guy. Like,
well, I think my biggest thing with, again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like, I think my biggest thing with Shia LaBeouf and where he is now, and why it's going to be hard for him to move forward in any movie, is not because of him wearing the paper bag says I used to be famous, and not the questionable method acting he does in his roles, but I think what it is like when he turns the camera on and he's high. And you could tell he's high, like when he was in that streaming thing with a whole bunch of other celebrities, like famously, I think Morgan Freeman was part of it, and he's just sitting there like in his car, he's passing out. Like, that's bad. Like, that's somebody who needs help. So,
yeah.
But Indiana Jones, possibly the aging Harrison Ford. Could it be a flashback? Could it be not a flashback? Let us know in the comments below. If it bothers you, if it doesn't bother you, why the hell are we even talking about it? Is Steven Spielberg pissed? Do you have a quote? Let us know in the comments below. Okay. So one of the things that came out while I was in sabbatical was Joker 2. Joker 2 was announced, and it came out with they had a title reveal, which I'm gonna stumble over probably. Joker 2 title reveal and speculation. After years of rumors and speculation during which neither Todd Phillips nor Joaquin Phoenix ever said no to a sequel, Joker 2 was finally confirmed through the director's Instagram. The film does not yet have a release date, and Joaquin Phoenix is so far the only confirmed name in the cast. So far. We'll get more into that here in a little bit. While nothing has been said about the story, Phillips did reveal the working title for Joker 2, Joker Folie à Deux. Is that how you say it?
I believe so, yeah.
Or Folie à Deux?
Folie à Deux or something.
And Folie à Deux translates from French to English as Madness of Two. Okay, so the first thing everyone thought of when they heard this was Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn's going to be the two or the Madness of Two. I didn't think that.
I didn't either.
I understood why people thought that, because that's to me a very easy place to go. Let me ask you something. What was your first thoughts when they announced the sequel and the title for it, the Folie à Deux, the Madness of Two?
You want me to be honest? I thought.
No, I want you to lie to me because that's what we're here for. We're here
All
to
right, Harley Quinn.
Fabricated opinions.
Harley Quinn. No. I thought they were going to do another Joker.
Oh, the William Dafoe?
Maybe not Willem Dafoe. Maybe Willem Dafoe. I don't know. I was thinking though that there's going to be another, maybe a Joker imposter or something who comes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the guy," and then Arthur Fleck is like, "Oh, no, you're not." So then something happens between them. That's honest. That was honestly my first thought.
My first thought was actually Bruce Wayne.
I didn't hear a single person think of that one before.
No, I was over because I was staying away from YouTube, or being on YouTube, and I'm over here biting my lip. I was like, why is nobody thinking Bruce Wayne? And I was thinking Bruce Wayne. I was like, a madness for two. One person that's going mad while he's grooming somebody else to go mad as well. Maybe they could have dove deeper into this. Actually, Thomas Wayne actually is the father of this Joker. I really that's where my mind went. Because the Joker and Bruce Wayne, they're the yin and the yang. They need each other. You can't have one without the other. They created each other.
Yeah,
that's where my mind went to. And to me, I thought that was, that's actually that fits into the narrative that this movie tries to portray. But then, Joker 2 eyeing Lady Gaga and announced that it's a musical. My first thought was literally, huh?
Yeah.
But I didn't quite understand. I've had time to wrap my head around it and come up with some of my conclusions. And then I also want to get your opinion on this as well. But before we do that, let's dive into a little bit more behind this. I'm gonna bring up my card here. It says details on her Joker 2 in talks to cast Lady Gaga. Details on her character are being kept under wraps, but Joker is known for his on-off abusive relationship with Harley Quinn, his psychiatrist at the mental institution known at Arkham Asylum, who falls in love with him and becomes his sidekick and a partner in crime. And we did leave him at Arkham Asylum.
At Arkham.
Or Arkham.
Arkham State Hospital, technically. Arkham Asylum, whatever, same thing.
We know what it is.
It's this version of Arkham Asylum.
Right. It's unclear whether Phillips and company are using other DC characters or striking on their own, as they did with many instances in their first movie. But wait, that's not all. Sources say the sequel is also a musical. Okay.
Sure, why not?
Tell me your thoughts, man. What do you unpack from this?
What I unpack from this, and I'm not gonna pull any punches here. Was this movie ever gonna be good anyway? Just go all out with it. Like honestly, just do it. I'm honestly surprised they're not taking it even further. But the question is, because my first thought was well, I can give Todd Phillips the benefit of the doubt. It's they're still greenlighting this movie. It's still happening. There's got to be something here, right? Then I thought about it. No, probably not. The movie was nominated for 11 Oscars and made over $1 billion, was the first and still is the only R-rated movie to make $1 billion. Of course it was going to get a sequel.
Well, I think the biggest part of this was that Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix are returning for this sequel. That because they didn't have to come with it.
They didn't.
Right. And that's kind of the big go. That's the faith I'm going to have in this. Now you confused me with your answer. You number one, you insulted the movie, but then you complimented the movie, saying it should go all out. But then you said, "Is this movie ever going to be good? Was this ever movie going to be good?" So I don't know exactly where you stand here.
I don't know either. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it. Is this something that well, yeah, but is this something that they think is are they just going to be you know what? We made our first one. Let's go a little crazy with this one because it's the Joker. Or is Todd Phillips sitting back here going, "This is the one. This is the movie that we. This is the proper next step in this franchise." Because those are both very different things.
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix, everybody's always like, "Oh, well, Joaquin Phoenix signed on. That means it's got to be good." Joaquin Phoenix got his Oscar. That's what he's wanted, and he got it.
Why do you say that's what he wanted? He doesn't strike me. Listen, I don't know Joaquin Phoenix personally. I've only met him once in person, and that was a lie. I just made that up. But he doesn't come across as a person who's aiming for the golden statue and the sun, and suspended in a beam of sunlight. He got it and he's happy for it, but I don't think now that he's got it, he's like, cool. Well, now I can fuck off with my integrity. I don't see that. I do have a faith in this movie because they're behind it. Now, listen, Lady Gaga and musical seem like shocking words. Lady Gaga not so much, but musical definitely. But what does musical mean exactly? I mean, listen, if this movie's a full-out musical, like they just start breaking out in a song and dance, whenever something happens and fucking cartoon birds start chirping and singing songs with them and landing on their shoulder,
this is the movie I want.
I'm out, because I don't like musicals to begin with. That. I'm not a big fan. I think Sweeney Todd is one of the only musicals I like, minus cartoon adaptations and things like that. But live action stuff, I'm not a huge fan of musicals unless you put that musical inside a bloody murder or killing spree, which Sweeney Todd did. So this movie has quite the potential to bring that sort of musical out. But number two, I don't think it's going to be as black and white as we're thinking musical is. Especially with Lady Gaga being a part of it. And could she be Harley Quinn? I don't know. She could be a completely different character that he falls in love with. It's, discount Harley Quinn. We know who it's supposed to be, but it's not her. Because Harley Quinn, the name Harley Quinn it's a little too on the nose, because she's designed after a Harlequin.
Yeah.
So I could see why they wouldn't, give her that actual name. But, if he's in the mental institution, maybe she doesn't have to be a doctor. She doesn't have to be a nurse. She could actually be a patient at the hospital herself. And this duality that they come across, maybe the musical is what's going on in her head. Like when those questionable dream sequences that were in the first movie that we still not 100% sure if they were a dream or not. Kind of like that. But in her head, it's music, or when Arthur Fleck stood on that stage and gave a great performance and everybody was laughing when he was telling his jokes, but then you find out later that nobody was laughing.
Yeah.
He imagined that he put on this amazing show, at the I think it's called the Pogo Lounge or Pope. I can't remember. It was named after John Wayne Gacy's clown name. I can't remember what that name is right now. If anybody knows, put that in the comments below. But yeah, that was a completely fabricated reaction. He was up there telling those jokes and not doing a good job, started laughing, and you could see porn clips coming out of his little notebook there. But the audience laughed and he felt good about it, and it made him feel better. I feel like this is going to be in that light, but with her specifically because they're choosing Lady Gaga. So that's just my thought. It's the only thing I could really come up with. And I've heard other people give out theories. I'm kind of Frankensteining my own thoughts here into that. And that's what I can come up with where I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to hold on to. That's the movie I'm going to look forward to, but I've done that before and I've been let down,
Yeah.
Morbius, but, what to expect when it comes from a movie. But that's my thoughts. That's my take on how they could turn this into a musical. I don't think it's going to be a musical as much as have musical sequences in it. So that's my thoughts.
That's unfortunate.
I'm sorry, what?
I said that's unfortunate.
You just want this movie to go full Like, what the fuck is this movie? Why
Yep.
did we even make it? That's
I don't
why
like. I don't like the fact this movie's happening. So if you're gonna do it, then just go all out. I don't. I can the third one be a multiverse movie? That would be awesome. Can we get like?
Well,
have you ever heard of the storyline Three Jokers?
No, but
Go
fuck
have it
that
up here.
movie.
Yeah.
Forget that movie. No, forget that movie. We don't need that movie.
Joker, No Way Home.
What we need? What we need? What we need is one thing every DC movie needs: Michael Keaton.
No.
I'm getting so damn tired of hearing Michael Keaton's name in movies. I just heard a rumor, and I should have brought it on here for today's show because I think I heard it last night, that the screening of Aquaman.
He's in the movie.
He was in Aquaman.
Yep. I heard that too.
What?
We're gonna get Michael Keaton in Aquaman 2 and Batgirl before he's in the Flash movie, which is the movie that explains how he got there.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with the Flash movie, dude.
I mean,
well, here we'll talk about that in a second. Anything? Okay, before we jump into that conversation, Joker 2 eyeing Lady Gaga and a musical. Seth, do you think Harley Quinn straight up musical? That's what they're doing.
I don't. Yeah, I think Harley Quinn. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a straight up musical. I would hope so, though, just because it sounds stupid. So,
why would somebody like Todd Phillips, who is still like, listen, he's had a good career, but like that movie Joker put him on a whole different level. Why would he have his next movie like bring it back down? You know,
that's
like,
what I'm wondering.
I see. That's the part where I'm choosing to have faith in the creators here. Two creators. Number one, the guy who came up with this concept and pitched an entire DC Black series that would fall into this category to DC a long time ago when they still had no clue what the hell they were doing. And then you also have Joaquin Phoenix, the guy that never does a sequel. He doesn't do I don't see what. Oh well, we got an Oscar. Let's throw all our integrities out the window. I don't see that happening.
You want to know something else that's kind of funny about this movie, though?
What's that?
This is the first time that one actor has played the Joker in two different theatrically released movies.
Oh, yeah, you had to be specific with theatrically.
I did have to be theatrically released, but if you want to bring it back to that, Jared Leto was the only Joker to play the character more than one time in live action.
Yeah. Yep.
Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger. I'm Cesar Romero. I guess you could say Cesar Romero, but he did the movie and the show. I don't know if that really counts though. But yeah, I don't know. I find that kind of funny.
Well, there you have it, everybody. The Joker 2, eyeing Lady Gaga and a musical. Are you on my side? Are you going to trust the artist and their integrity and what they're trying to build for their career and their legacy? Or are you on Seth's side where they're just going to act like a whole bunch of monkeys and throw poo at the screen? So we'll find out.
I'm glad that WB's integrity is clear, though. I'm glad that we're getting a Joker musical, which is a sequel to another Joker movie, before we can get a second Superman movie. I love WB, man. They're brilliant.
Well, listen, in that light, to be fair, listen, I'm not. Joaquin Phoenix doesn't look like the healthiest guy, and he's a smoker. So, like, who knows how long? They're like, well, let's get into this movie while we can. While Henry Cavill still looks like he's 25. So,
yeah.
Or as some people are saying, he's aging out of the role. Jesus Christ,
he's not aging out of the role.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Henry Cavill is too old. Oh, Michael Keaton's coming back. Woohoo!
Right. Michael Keaton, and if not Michael Keaton, definitely Ben Affleck, who's also in his 50s. Or not also, but is in his 50s. Okay.
Yeah.
There you have it. There's that one. All right. So this next one is a sad one. I don't like talking about this simply because the story of Ezra Miller is not getting any better. It's snowballing out of control. And it's what a unique situation this is for on many different levels, and like 80% of those levels being psychological, mental health issues.
Yeah.
And then those are all piled on top of the fact that there's this movie that we've been waiting years for that is in the can, ready to come out, ready to bring back Michael Keaton, also have Ben Affleck, also have 3 Ezra Millers, and DC is claiming it's going to be one of the best movies they put out, one of the best DC movies that they ever put out. But then, as I said, all that stuff sitting on top of that concept, Ezra Miller is still missing after grooming allegations. Now, to make things clear, the young lady or person, I don't know, the young person that he is considered, grooming is now an adult. So like, there's no kidnapping, nothing going on here, but there are a lot of weird things that happen. So let's dive into a few of these things. All right, as Ezra Miller allegations deepen, court cannot locate or serve the actor. And by serve, they can't serve him court papers because they can't find him.
Yeah.
But the teen's I'm sorry, I must have cut that off sooner than I thought. The teen is the young lady in question here. The teen's parents and law enforcement are having a hard time locating Miller to serve the actor with the order which issues Miller of physically and emotionally abusing and grooming the teen. The accused, the 29-year-old Justice League star of psychologically manipulating, physically intimidating, and endangering the safety and welfare of Takota. Is that it? Takota or Takata?
I think Takata. I don't know.
Takata. Okay. Takata Iron Eyes. According to the court documents obtained Thursday by the Times, the tribal court judge approved the interim order Tuesday, but the court cannot locate or serve Miller, according to a copy of the petition. Okay. So you hear this whole bunch of scary words. Court cannot find, legally manipulating, intimidation, endangering safety, blah, blah, blah. Which is weird. It's a whole different level that it kind of seems to like fall right into the wheelhouse of what Ezra has put on as how they act in general. This kind of like, I control this situation. Do you know who I am? I'm just going to go up to a bar. I don't like the song you're singing. Well, I'm going to take your microphone and start a fight with you. I'm going to walk into your house that you generously let me stay in. I'm going to threaten you and your wife. Yeah. Ezra's out of control, but we've been saying that it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Well, it got worse, but it got worse than we thought it was, because this is allegations that's been going on this has been going on for 4 years previous to this. Like, this has been happening, and like,
I think
that
6 actually.
Oh, I thought she was 14. Maybe was she 12?
I think she was 12. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When they met. Yeah.
Got you. Which brings up a whole different slew of conversation, which we'll get to. So it's more like this is a precursor of it snowballing into a bigger thing, which is these big physical altercations that Ezra is going through now. That's just the way I'm unpacking it, because it's really weird. We're getting this information, but this information has been happening since before all these other allegations came out. With that, Seth, you're Zaslav. You're going through Warner Brothers, just taking things out. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. Here's the budget for all TV series. CW, see ya. Like, he's going through kicking ass and taking names. What do we do with Ezra in this situation?
I know we've said a few times, and it is true, mental health needs to be taken more seriously.
Yeah.
And this is what seems to be a heavy case of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets to a certain point where you can't just use mental health as an excuse for everything. Like, you can't read all this stuff, go, what's wrong with Ezra Miller? And then somebody go, oh, mental health issues. And you go, okay, never mind then. Like, you can't do that anymore. And like, yes, they need help, and I hope they get help. But I was Zaslav, whatever. Ezra's got to go.
Yeah.
Ezra's got to go, and obviously
I agree.
You-
Keep the movie as is in the can.
keep the movie as is. It seems like it's way too late to do that. It seems like it would also be way too expensive
Well,
to
especially
recast Ezra.
Because he plays multiple roles. Yeah,
Not just multiple roles, but they had like a test screening a few weeks ago, and people are saying Ezra's in like every scene of the movie, playing multiple characters. It would be way too expensive to recast for this movie.
right.
So release the movie as is, but either recast the role or find a way to put Barry aside and bring in maybe a different Flash, maybe bring in Wally somehow, or maybe another Flash. I don't know, but like, just get rid of Ezra Miller. Like, I hate to say it too. I've said it before. I like Ezra Miller, or as an actor.
I like Ezra Miller as the Flash.
I like Ezra Miller as the Flash, and I brought it up a few times. But there's this movie called The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's like a coming of age drama that Ezra is in. And
Yeah.
really good. Like, the movie's really good, and Ezra Miller is really good in the movie. So it's sad to see where they're ending up right now. I hope they can get the help they need, but like, we're talking Flash, DC. Ezra Miller has to go. Like,
yeah, like have Michael Keaton be in charge of all of like the promo for this movie. Like, he's the one that goes out to all the interviews. Everyone else that's involved, Supergirl, and just like whenever Ezra comes up, just be like, hey, he made the movie. We're thankful for that, but no, he's gone. I'm to the point. I think it's definitely time for him to go. But Seth, we don't really know the full scope of this situation.
I was gonna mention that too, because it's kind of iffy, and like, the article you brought up didn't mention it, so I don't know if you saw it, but the girl that he's being accused of kidnapping or whatever, she made a video saying that like, oh, her parents are liars, and like some people are like, oh, okay, so clearly we don't need the full situation. But then it boils down to even more, because like, oh, she could easily just be caught up in everything, thinking this is the way to go, and it's still wrong.
Yeah.
Or you could even boil it down even more and say maybe Ezra made her make that video somehow. Like, you don't know. I'm not saying that is what happened. I'm just saying we don't know.
Well, this is the power of what they call grooming, Seth. Because grooming somebody's, it's like a mild form of brainwashing.
Yeah.
But you can also use this word for not negative things. Now this word it's mostly used for negative things. That's typically what it's used for. Hey, grooming, bad. So this person was grooming. But conditioning somebody to, kind of teach somebody to think the way that they think it's kind of human nature. But when you add toxicity to that, then it becomes grooming, or not just toxicity. I mean, it goes way deeper, way grosser stuff. Yeah. I'm not saying for Ezra or this case, because we don't know anything about it, but I'm just saying the word grooming in general. You and me love movies. We love talking about movies. You just got a job at a movie theater because you love movies. I envy you. I want to work with you at the movie theater. But like, some people could say, well, Steve, that's because you spent your entire life grooming Seth into making him think movies are so awesome, just like you. You know what I mean? Like, you could also use that for that same mentality. I know there's no negative connotation what I'm doing. It's a very innocent thing. I like movies. You like movies too. But that's because you've grown up with me, and I've told you your whole life, movies are awesome. Movies are great. They're a great escape. Pay more attention to the story. Pay more attention to, the dialogue instead of the fun actiony stuff. And you're slowly turning into that person, and that's not a negative thing. Now, it sounds what Ezra Miller has done is very icky. It's really gross. But the other side of this that really bums me out and that we're not really talking about, and I haven't really heard anything brought up about it. Where the hell were the parents this whole 6 years?
Thank you. Where have they been?
Listen. I've read the things. I've read the stuff. They let her move in with Ezra when she was 12 years old because she was going to school over there. So she'll stay with Ezra. And it wasn't until things got weird And then they're like, okay, well, maybe you shouldn't stay with Ezra anymore. And she's like, oh, no, I'm actually going to stay here. And they're like, oh, okay. But it's not until this recent stuff comes out. And now they want to start bringing this stuff up when their daughter's of legal age. What the hell happened this past 6 years? There's something that's going to come out. I don't know what it is, but something's going to come out about this. And it's going to get I believe it's going to get way ickier, way grosser. And I think it's going to have to do with the parents. And maybe, and I'm just speculating here, not a clue. So don't hold me to this, but I'm just throwing out ideas, but maybe even a deal between Ezra and the parents. This doesn't sound like any sort of sexual thing that has not been any part of any of the allegations, but it seems almost like cult leaderish, and maybe there's a deal hey, Ezra, he's up and coming. Maybe our daughter can go kind of ride his coattails, oh, well, things are getting a little weird, but Ezra paid for her college, so that's all right.
I was going to bring that up. Ezra Miller is paying for her college.
Right.
So,
I don't see the parents complaining about that.
There's a lot that we clearly do not know.
Right. Exactly.
And that's why I don't really have much else to say other than what I did say. So that's why I'm kind of quiet over here.
Other than our past 15-minute conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I want to say hope for the best for Ezra, and I do, but I think they need to be fired from the Flash franchise.
I think at this point, I think it should definitely at least be, indefinite termination, which indefinite, maybe let's just hold off for a while until you figure out what the hell you are doing. So I completely agree with that. It's a very mature way to look at that. So yeah, with that being said, man, we have no clue what the hell is happening with this, and it sounds bad. As I said, these words are scary, psychologically manipulating, the court cannot locate or serve Miller. They're not they don't have dogs and people with guns and they're chasing Ezra across the fucking country, or across the turning into
there's not a manhunt here.
Right, exactly. It's not like that. It's being played like that. Listen, there's some very serious allegations here, but I think it's more questionable about where these allegations came from, the time that they're being presented, and yeah, there's just a lot more big questions that need to be answered before I think we accuse Ezra of being as icky as he's being made to look out to be. But maybe that's why this is coming out now. Maybe the parents said, dude, do you see all this stuff Ezra's doing? Right now is our time. We can bank in on this somehow. I'm just throwing stuff out there because whatever the parents' involvement is very odd to me. Yeah. It's just the whole thing's very strange. There's no way in the world my parents would have let me, no matter how rich this actor was, would have let me go, spend years with a random actor because they're going to pay for my college or whatever. You're just asking for something bad to happen. So that definitely needs to be addressed, and these parents need to be put under the microscope a little bit more, I think.
When people say Ezra Miller is on the run, I picture a super cinematic thing of hundreds of military soldiers just running with guns, and they plant it up and get down and their scopes, and the helicopter comes flying down and a man in a suit gets out, and some civilians what's happening here, and the guy's see that building over there? Ezra Miller's in there.
Yeah. The truth is Ezra Miller is reenacting that entire last scene in Zack Snyder's Justice League. You gotta break the rule. You gotta do it now.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, there it is, guys. Seth, is there anything else you want to add before we close
to this specific conversation?
To anything, really.
I had another topic I wanted to bring up that wasn't on here at all. I just thought of it 5 minutes ago. Do you mind if I add this on here?
Yeah. I like your surprise topics.
I don't know if you've watched it, so if not, I'm not going to go into spoilers. I want to talk about this, and not specifically the episode itself, but more the fans' reaction to it.
There's 2 more episodes left, right?
5 and 6, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have seen this.
Okay, yeah, 5 is tonight, I think. Fans are complaining relentlessly about this show now because it's not what they expected, and I think one of the worst, and obviously everybody has their own opinions and stuff like that. If you hate the show, you hate the show, but I think one of my least favorite opinions that I've seen so far is that people are saying this episode was bad because they didn't do Clone Wars flashbacks.
Well, there's still 2 more episodes to do that, but I do see their point. This would have been the episode.
I agree with that. I think I saw it. He was in the back to tank, and that's where Boba Fett had most of his flashbacks. And I get it. I see why people saw or thought that was going to happen, but they're hating the episode just because it didn't. And I think that's what's stupid. You can be disappointed it didn't happen. I was expecting it to happen. I'm totally down if it does. But there's people that are saying, "Oh, that didn't happen." What an awful episode.
Did you like the episode?
I did. I did like the episode. I'm not gonna lie to you. And people are saying it's filler. It's like, is it? Because the show is about Obi-Wan saving Leia. The show is about Obi-Wan saving Leia and Obi-Wan saving Leia.
I think, Seth, I think that's the problem. I think people are seeing, they were expecting to get a Obi-Wan character study. And instead we got the Obi-Wan and Leia, sitcom. And I think they're using that as their scapegoat, oh my God, this is what I wanted and you gave me this instead. So now they're attacking it. Listen, I don't think the show is bad. I don't. I'm enjoying watching Ewan McGregor do his thing. It's fun to see these characters interact with each other again. I will say, what we've gotten is weak. I do not think the show is strong.
It's not. I'm not going to act like it's incredible and everybody who dislikes it is stupid. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's not great. Maybe 7 out of 10. It's not amazing,
right? But
it's not the worst thing ever, which a lot of people, I know that might sound over dramatic, but I've actually seen people hype it up to be that bad. I've seen a few people say this is the worst Star Wars content we've ever gotten.
Okay, but listen, you Star Wars freaks. You say that every freaking movie content that comes out. I think unless everyone just unanimously agrees that one thing is great, which is apparently the original trilogy, and even that stirs up some controversy. And then The Mandalorian. I think that's everything everyone kind of agrees on. But anything outside of that, it's just that extreme one or the extreme other. This movie is fantastic. This movie is garbage. There's never any mid-ground. I think Obi-Wan's a mid-ground. Is that a little disappointing? Yes, because it shouldn't be a mid-ground thing. This should have been this is honestly, this could be the last hurrah to the Skywalker saga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it might not be. They might turn around and do this with Darth Vader and have an actual Darth Vader series. I think Hayden Christensen is actually advocating for this.
I think he said yesterday he'd be down to do it. I was going to bring that up too, actually. Just kind of unrelated to Obi-Wan, but
you and I are on the same page today, huh?
I want a Darth Vader show for one major reason. Let me get it real quick. There it is. I read this the other day, which is a Darth Vader comic.
Oh! I didn't realize that's what that book was. That paperback book with illustrations inside of it. Yeah.
I want a Darth Vader show. I don't care when it takes place, but I want a Darth Vader show. This book right there was about him getting his lightsaber, the red one. He's a beast. The Vader, there was only 6 issues in there. The Vader in there is more of a monster than the Vader we have ever seen in a movie. He kills an innocent family in that movie for no reason. He does it for fun. He literally just does it. Like,
Yeah, they show the sadistic side. Do you think we'll ever get that?
I hope so.
And do you think that should be a movie or a series?
It really could work either way, though. If you were to ask me, I personally would do a show.
Well,
I would do a series.
Can we ask Disney Plus to please change your scope of the shows?
Can we make it 8 episodes? That would be nice.
That are an hour long. I mean,
8 episodes that are an hour long each. Yeah.
Right. Listen, I understand that Netflix is still billions of dollars in debt, but hey, at least Stranger Things is kicking ass, man. It's an hour something each episode, and I hear the last 2 episodes are almost 2 hours each.
The finale I think is over 2 hours and 15 minutes long. So,
right, that's how you do it. But I also heard, actually, Seth, I didn't think about this. It's like it must have stayed somewhere in my mental Rolodex. I must have heard it somewhere today that there is rumor that the last Obi-Wan could be longer than we expect. That I believe there's. Listen, it happened so quick, but I'm going to try to piece this together. So don't hold me to it. But I believe there's going to be a theatrical showing of it that's planned.
Yeah,
that's planned to be like almost 2 hours long, but there's also a Q&A, so that could be part of that runtime. I don't really know, but
I saw that and I got excited. It's Canada only, but they why
is it Canada only? Who's making these decisions?
Cineplex, which is a Canadian theater chain, and they're the ones that made the deal with Disney. But they're doing a few different things. There's one showing that's doing just the finale and then a Q&A. There's some that are doing all 6 episodes and then a Q&A. So I mean, we really don't know yet. I would hope that it's longer. If it is, that'd be great. But yeah, I hope Disney does reevaluate the way they do their Disney Plus shows, though, because I'm really starting to feel it. I'm really starting to feel the quantity over quality aspect of everything.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And when it comes back to this Obi-Wan, there's still 2 episodes. Still 2 episodes that could just blow our minds. I highly doubt it, but we could be wrong. Again, I feel like I'm going to walk away thinking that Obi-Wan is meh. It's okay. It's a cool. We know what he did for 2 weeks during that 20-year period where he disappeared. Awesome. Yeah. And he saved Leia twice in those 2 weeks.
I mean,
like, okay.
I want to throw this out there. There were reports a few weeks ago. Nothing official, nothing from like Hollywood Reporter or anything like that, but some reliable sources are claiming that Obi-Wan is getting a 2nd season.
Well, there's that whole aspect where he did that, I forget whatever con there was, and he got on stage and he goes, "Hope you enjoy, episode 5 and 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10." Like, wait, what?
I think
we never talked about that, but that was definitely a thing that happened, and I have seen that video, and he does put a very obvious pause, like he knows what he's saying right now. But yeah,
I mean, maybe there's rumors that they are doing a 2nd season, and I made the mistake of opening the article. I guess the article just straight up spoils the finale, but whatever. Of the show, they're like, oh yeah, insiders are claiming that this thing that happens in the finale isn't happening anymore. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll get a 2nd season. If it does, I don't really know how to feel about that, but yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the 1st season to end, and then we'll see.
All right, well, there you have it, guys.
Is
there anything else you want to add to the Obi-Wan conversation?
Nope.
All right, cool. Well, Obi-Wan episode 5 will release tonight at midnight at Eastern Standard Time. So I'll have something to chat about on Thursday. I know you work at the theater on Thursday, so which sucks because I'm going to miss my Seth, but that's okay. Seth, I'm going to send you backstage real quick, just real fast. I want to say one thing before we close out, and I kind of want to address the audience, the one person watching on Twitch right now. Thank you, by the way. Sorry. All right, I just want to add this little ending here because I just took 2 weeks off. kind of just reigniting my passion for the YouTube thing. And listen, I've always loved doing YouTube. I always loved doing these talks, having these conversations with you. But I have this tendency to get overwhelmed. And I get overwhelmed when I don't see returns of all the hard work that I and Seth and everyone that involved with Film Trigger put into this. And that's just a me thing. It really is. And I just want to say, if there's anything on this channel that you want us to see, that you want to see more of, that we do, if you want to see more drive-by content, more movie reviews, or if you have a different suggestion, feel free to let us know in the comments below. I'm going to stick to doing what I love on this channel, and that's delivering movie news, which we're going to do twice a week now, mostly because just that between my two other jobs that I have, it's hard to do 3 days a week. So every Tuesday, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be here, and I will be freckling in some other content, trailer reactions, maybe a surprise live stream if there's something interesting to talk about, movie reviews, and a few other ideas that I've dabbled with before that I'm gonna put more focus into. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for enjoying this channel, and I'm looking forward to moving forward with you. So I just wanted to say that thank you, and I'm sorry if I look sweaty, but it's summertime. It's almost reached 100 degrees today, and it's really, I don't have an air conditioner in this room. I have a fan blowing. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I want Seth, is there anything else you want to add before we take off?
Nope. Oh, watch The Boys. That's it.
Oh my God.
That's all. That's it.
We haven't talked about that yet. the one episode I told you not to watch with your mom. Yeah. All right. All right, everybody. We will see you Thursday. It'll be me and maybe somebody else, or maybe just me. Either way, we'll be here Thursday. Stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.